Hey, it's BrickTsar, looking at a vintage Lego set here. I do not have the instructions. I thought I did. Can't find them. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you this set. It's set number 323. It's a train. Got an engine, a passenger car. This set is from 1964. And this is before Lego trains had train tracks. It just uses the wheel pieces that you had back in the 60s, so it's not compatible with the Lego trains of today, as it uses the standard wheel width for the bricks that have the wheels. Alright, this train, it doesn't have any particularly rare parts, unless you're wanting to use the all vintage era parts. The grays are hard to come by. The plates aren't necessarily rare, but these have the waffle bottom. You can see here they have those little squares, and they call that the waffle bottom. They don't make these wheel pieces anymore. You have the light gray rubber, and it's very common for 40-year-old wheels to be, actually these would be like 9 years old? No, wait a minute. I can't do math. This is almost 50 years old. So, yeah, about 49 years old. And these would be dry rotted usually. And then this little piece here, see if I can take this off without breaking it. Oh, I hate this thing. The coupler, it's kind of a nylon piece. Very easy to break. It's hard to find them not broken. I'm almost afraid to hook this thing up. Such a little thin piece to pull your train. It is flexible. It can bend, but you bend it enough over time, it breaks. So that's probably the rarest part in the set, especially to find one not broken. But all the other pieces, you can pretty much basically build this using a lot of pieces from today. You might have to substitute something for the wheels, but just basic bricks from the 60s. A lot of plates, and then the engine does have some use of slopes to give some details to it. Your cow catcher in the front. The rest of it is just standard bricks and plates here. Got the trans clear bricks there, and there's some slopes here for the tender. It's like a locomotive that has the built-in tender, basically, which is the type of locomotive they did make. I don't know about the wheel spacing of this, but yeah, they had to use what parts they had available then. So that's why, it's supposed to be like a steam locomotive, and you'd have a rod here, but they had to use what they had for pieces. The passenger car I actually think is pretty neat looking. Uses a lot of clear pieces. And alright, I realized I'd put a piece in the wrong place, so I've corrected this with the there's supposed to be a red brick there instead of a clear. This thing had fallen apart in the box, and I put it back together incorrectly, but now I got it fixed. Now this is 1x2 clear bricks, and here's 2x3 clear bricks, and they actually got them staggered on the other side so that it's the same when you turn it around. But those, especially the 1x2s and a lot of the 2x3s, they've lost their clutch powers over the years, and they don't hold together very well. So at least with the clear bricks, they come apart real easy. The plates, they hold together good, and the red bricks seem to hold together good, but it's the clear ones just don't have good clutch power. But it's a simple design, and so it holds together even though those pieces are kind of loose fitting. In fact, let me take the roof off and I'll show you. I hate taking this thing off because it's hard to put back on. I'll just take that part of it off, but here's, see that? It doesn't even stick. After 50 years, it doesn't want to stick. Alright, what did I do here? Put this back together. Like that. Alright, so that's the passenger car. I think that's a pretty cool design. There's a lot of light gray plates used in the roof, a lot of 2x4s and a few 2x2s. But this set, it has so many of these 2x4 plates, probably as many as in any set, and those are hard to find in that color anymore. Especially the Pat Pending design on the back, on the underside of them, it'll say Pat Pending if they're vintage. So, and a few on the locomotive, and also the round brick. Some may have a solid bottom, and they all have a closed stud from the 60s. Alright, since I couldn't find the original instructions for this set, I printed out a copy of them. This is from Brick Factory, and just typed in the set number, and it's typical from the 60s, early 60s especially. They don't give you necessarily a lot of different instruction steps. This has only got 6 steps to build this. A set today might have a lot more steps, so you have to really watch closely. I mean, they go from that to that real quick. I mean, the whole roof is basically built, and the roof has 3 layers, but you got to pretty much look real close at the instructions to figure it out. And then on the other side, I printed out, this would be on the other side of the instructions, is alternate models that you can build with the set, which is pretty neat. You can build a Viking boat, a jumbo airplane, a windmill. Seems like they like to build windmills and cranes in the 60s. An old 60s style house, a boat, a truck. So pretty neat. And I don't know what I did with my instructions. I'm pretty sure I got them somewhere. But very hard to find these instructions. There's only one copy available on Bricklink right now, and they want $30 for it, which is probably about right because it's hard to find. But the set itself, it's hard to find, although it's not rare pieces. Unless you wanted to make sure you're getting vintage era pieces from the early 60s, it's probably going to cost you around $100. If you mix it with modern pieces, then it wouldn't be worth quite that much. But especially with the instructions, this set would be worth well over $100, even though it's just a simple design set. So anyway, I wanted to show you this. This is one of the earliest train sets. There are some other sets from this time period that are locomotives. And one I've been trying to get on eBay, and every time I bid on it, I get outbid because I'm not willing to pay a certain amount for it. But it's a Samsonite Era Locomotive, and I'll hopefully get that one eventually. But for now, this is one of the oldest train sets that Lego made that I have. Of course, I'm not counting the wooden trains. There are some wooden sets that are pre-plastic brick era that it would be cool to have, but those are very expensive whenever they show up on eBay. But anyway, I thought I'd show you this Lego system set. This set number 323 has about 253 pieces, and it began in 1964. Some sources say 1965, but I think it's 64. Early train set from Lego. Thanks for watching BrickTsar.